Yeah, I can.
All right. Yeah, I was just actually saying that going to very quickly review what the goal of this project was, and I was just mentioning that it's quite a long journey from pitch to final cut, but I don't
Yeah.
know if you really felt that. Did you feel it?
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. From reflecting it, it feels short.
Oh, okay.
But it would, I mean, remembering the first step
Right.
of the course,
Yeah.
it's like, feels like a half a year or even a year.
Yeah. Right. And it's only
It's actually 3 months.
but how many minutes is the video? Yeah.
5.
5 minutes. Imagine if it was
Yeah, yeah.
50 minutes. Or imagine if you were like Stanley Kubrick and making
Yeah.
2001 A Space Odyssey. How much work that those guys do.
I don't think it gets easier.
Sorry, what did you say, Kit?
It doesn't get easier.
It doesn't get easier. Even actually, they do say sometimes like a short speech is harder than a long speech. And I think also maybe a short video is to some extent as hard as a long video to do. So anyway, but you know, we had our objective, and the idea was also to try to do this to as close to a professional level as possible under the circumstances. And there was also, I think, one really important part about this course is self-learning. So, I mean, we give you the direction, but you have to figure out how to do it. And we give you the camera, but you have to figure out how to use the camera. And then we show you Adobe Premiere, but we don't sit next to you and say, okay, now click this button, now click that. So you have to actually figure everything out yourselves. And you have to figure out how to do that. So there's lots of little techniques there. Is there anything you would like to add on that, Kit, at this point about learning by doing, or?
No, I don't think so.
All right. And so what, by the end, you've got, I would like to say that if you were to be involved in a video project in the future, you would know how it works. Even if you are hiring somebody to make a video for you, you would know like the process. So you understand that, which is good. And you understand it from like a technical point of view because you've done hands-on. So if a camera person is saying, well, I need to do it like this or do it like that, you would have some idea about it. You'd also know about how the steps of editing go. So because you've gone through it. So, you know, if you do come across another project in the future, it's going to make much more sense to you. And you may even decide that you want to do one as well, which would be kind of interesting. You might want to do something related to your research, or you never know in the future what could, even your job could involve doing something like this. Let's make a promotional video. The other thing was to try to collaborate as a team. And because a few team members are missing, we don't really know how the whole team feels about this project, which is a bit of a shame, but maybe we'll find out later from the evaluation sheets. But then what we want to do after you've showed your video, we want just to talk a little bit about what you felt was working, what didn't work, what was the strengths and the weaknesses of this kind of project, and then also think about your contribution. Again, we're missing out on 3 other people who could talk about their contribution. It'd be very interesting to hear what they have to say. But teamwork is really important for this type of project. And I think at university, there aren't enough opportunities for teamwork. When you get out into your job, it will be all teamwork. And of course, wherever you go, they will give you some training on teamwork and they will explain what they want you to do. But I think at university, we need more teamwork. Often it's just you do your own presentation, you write your own essay, and so on. But this is really collaborative work, and it requires everybody to really meet their roles and responsibility. So how do we evaluate it? Oh, do you want to say anything about teamwork, Kit? You have been in many teams, haven't you?
I think probably a lesson that I've learned over the years is that it matters who the team is.
Right.
So when you're beginning to work on projects, particularly as a producer or as someone who's making the project and bringing other people to the project, that, and I think you could say this for any sort of research project, it matters who those people are and what their skills are,
Right.
because the project is only ever as good as the people making it. So, you know, the research is only ever as good as the people doing the research. So it's sort of along the same lines that you really should seek out as best you can. I mean, obviously it's a creative project, but seek out people that have got a skill, like demonstrated a skill set, or they've got a talent of some description. And that's it, I think, moving down the track. I mean, in a learning environment, it's, I think, different, but I think you can apply, that's a good, you know, any sort of research project or any kind of project working on, it's about sort of keeping an eye on the people that you're working with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I actually feel like a lot of the projects that I've been involved in, you know, if you've got a very, very good camera person, that can make a big difference. You know, the person who has got really good eye for the shot, and also that knows the camera inside out and so on, they can really upgrade the level. Likewise, a fantastic editor can put energy and movement into something that lacks it. So it is, you do need to carefully select your team. And often you find that if you work with one person once and they're good, you're going to work with them again. Yeah. Okay, so these are the criteria that we're using when we're marking this assignment. So we're looking at the quality, and we're looking at how close we think you got to like producing a professional quality there. So that's a little bit, how do you say, kibishi. It's a bit strict because you're beginners, but that's what we were kind of hoping, is that you'd push yourself. And the other thing then is we're trying to look at creativity. So we really want it's how you've communicated those ideas, and if you've done that in a creative manner, and if you've responded to the kind of feedback that we were given to you. And then the next one is collaboration. So we're trying to look at you know, how closely you've collaborated. So I have been observing you, and so I look at like you know, if I see who's on the shoot, who was shooting and who was not there, or who comes to edit in my office, etc. So it gives me an idea of like, oh, what kind of collaboration are you guys talking to each other? That's what we're looking for in terms of evidence of group collaboration. And then the technical qualities. So for instance, what's the audio like? Yeah, you've got subtitles. Are the subtitles readable? Is there anything like problematic? Do you sort of suddenly you've got this, it goes black when it's not supposed to, or there's just some other technical issue there? That's also what we're taking into consideration. Any comment on that, Kit? We've applied this a few times so far. It's pretty straightforward, but just wanted for you to be clear on how we mark it. Yeah. And so what we'll do is, before the film, we would like you to talk a little bit about it, and then talk about the process and any challenges that you faced. And then if you have any, if you want to add anything, please feel free to do, and then we'll screen it. So Kit, let's hear from the director on
I didn't
on the
think
film. We know the film very well,
Okay.
but yeah.
So it's a film about Ikeda Ranger, a hero team in a local community, Ikeda City in Osaka, and we shot the footage in a local festival, you know, that Ikeda Ranger perform the show at, and process. We shot. We went there and took the landscape of the show, and also we made a list of questions and asked them, and we got the answers afterwards, after the show, and we tried to figure out their message to the public, and I hope that the film introduces the activities and contributes to the popularity of them, and also I hope that it shows the value of local activities in local communities. Like, I mean, it's in a way, it's a universal matter. So I hope that we have showed a hint to, how to promote specific area to, even all over the world in this internet, as networking society. So maybe that's it.
And in terms of the process,
Yeah.
Was there any like big challenges in terms of production or time management or coordination or
Yeah.
anything like that?
The day that we could, go to Ikeda Ranger's show, and the opportunity was very limited. So, we just had to take the chance at one shot.
Right.
Yeah, that was quite a challenge, and
Okay.
also it was a hero show, so we discussed that the they are under the masks.
Yes.
Yeah, so how to interview them, we figure out, and made it possible by taking the audio after that and ask them to record
Right.
the answers in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about in terms of coordinating the team?
Yeah.
How were you able to like communicate and get people to do different tasks?
We mainly I asked the members to what work they
Okay.
should do, and yeah, I hardly remember this. But, we sometimes discussed on text,
Okay.
chats, and so a few times via Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah, and also I was the one to talk to Ikeda Ranger,
Right.
and
Okay.
I told the members what they wanted to present. Yeah, and yeah, sometimes for example, Lee-san couldn't come to the shooting process, or also the editing process doesn't need too many people.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Also, it wasn't really perfect setup because it was in my office, so you had to wait for me when I was available. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's also kind of restrictive.
But I think we could, spend as much time as possible.
Okay.
Especially editing.
Yeah, and you finished it yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
And didn't have to come in this morning, which was good because sometimes people are working right up to the
Yeah.
deadline. But it was good time management.
Yeah, I tend to do that,
Okay.
in my thesis
Right.
project, but it was good to finish before the deadline.
Yeah. Okay, Kit, do you have any questions? Comments?
No, not
Okay.
really. No.
All right. Kishisan, do you have anything to add? How was it for you?
I worked as a cameraman,
Yeah.
and I shoot almost every footage
Mm.
of the film, and it was so helpful for me to ask Naito-san and Yo-san
Mm.
to take footage
Right. Okay.
with me. So yeah, just I thank for all of them.
Yeah, right. I see.
Actually, I couldn't catch up with the editing process,
Right.
and so it was I feel a little shame, but yeah, and eventually we could accomplish this project. So
Yeah. Did you go and film extra B-roll? Did you film some extra B-roll
Yes.
as well? Okay, after we gave you some feedback, did you go
Yes.
shooting some more? Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
And also Shinjo-san had some experience on Adobe.
Oh,
Premiere,
right.
So
it's still
we could trust him into, working on
Mm.
the editing process.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, are you ready now, Kit, to see it? Right.
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's have a look. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. I also don't know what to expect. And I'm hoping that the audio is working. Are you seeing the screen now?
Yeah, I'm
Like-
seeing blue
Like,
PowerPoint presentation.
oh, hang on. Let me close the PowerPoint
Right.
presentation. Actually, what I'll do is I'll stop share and then start share again. And hopefully I've got okay. It says optimize for video clip. Should I have selected that, do you think?
I don't know.
I don't know too. I've never seen that before.
What's the optimization do?
Optimize for video clip. Okay, well, let's try it.
Okay.
Oh, it's very, how do you say it? I'm very nervous.
Me too.
Okay, and how do I get this to go full screen? Well, are you seeing that now, Kit?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so let's give it a go. It is 5 minutes and 19 seconds.
All right.
So I'm hoping that the audio and everything works fine.
That's working.
大阪府池田市。大阪の北西部に位置する人口10万人ほどの町です。観光スポットもあり、毎年多くの人が訪れます。そんな池田市で活躍する非公式のヒーローがいます。その名も池田レンジャー。池田駅からバスで20分のところにある伏尾台。この住宅街の創立50周年を祝うお祭りが開かれました。そこでの池田レンジャーのショーを多くの子どもたちが見に来ています。
今から池田レンジャーのショーがあるんだけど、みんな今日楽しみに来てくれた人。
潮台生誕50周年、次の世代につないでいくため、町の歴史を子どもたちに伝える。
池田レンジャー、そして敵のブラックウォンバットは何のために活動しているのでしょうか。池田レンジャーのガンガラレッドと敵であるブラックウォンバットのボスにインタビューすることができました。
俺は池田レンジャーガンガラレッド。 燃え盛る松明の炎から誕生した。池田市の安全と平和を守るのが池田レンジャーさ。
悪の秘密結社ブラックオンバットのボスだ。池田氏の闇を支える組織だ。
2014年の7月からやっている。もうすぐ結成10年だ。最初は池田市商工業青年会という自営業者の集まりだけで作ったんだ。
やってるうちに仲間が増えていき、池田市商工業青年会という枠を取っ払ってやった。やりたい奴は誰でもできるぞ。
自分たちが子供の頃見たヒーローショーを今の子供たちにも体験させてあげたいんだ。街のイベントでヒーローを呼ぶ予算がないなら自分たちがなってしまえっていうわけさ。ヒーローショーが人気になれば街の祭りやイベントに子供たちがたくさん来てくれるんだ。そうすれば地域交流にもつながると思ってね。
ヒーローショーのドキドキは最高だぞ。我が輩もずっと覚えておる。今の子供たちにもそれを味わわしてやろうと思ってな。
自分の街を愛してほしい。子供だけじゃなく大人も楽しめるようにっていうのは常に考えてるかな。
まだ一人で来れない小さい子供なんかは親と一緒にイベントに来るだろう。親も楽しめんとつまらんからな。
どのような形でもいいから自分が住んでる街を楽しく盛り上げてほしいな。
祭りやイベントに遊びに来るだけでも盛り上がるからな。まずは足を運んでみてほしい。
自分たちが住んでいる街の魅力なんかを伝えたいかな。地元が好きになってくれればたとえ一回離れても街に戻ってきてくれるかもしれないからな。あとは一生懸命やることさ。そんなにうまくはできないけど一生懸命やってるっていう姿が大事なんだ。
我が輩は常識や固定概念がいかにつまらんかを教えたくてな。子供のように自由な発想で大人になってほしい。
イベントや祭りは主催者の熱量だけでなく遊びに来てくれる人はもちろん協力してくれる街の人や事業者たちの人にも愛されるものでなければ続いていかないと思うんだ。池田レンジャーも人に愛され自分たちの街のヒーローだから残していきたいと思われるように頑張っていきたいね。
地域の子どもたちを思って日々活動を続ける池田レンジャー。町おこしのための重要なヒントがそこに隠されているのかもしれません。
自然を守るために俺たちは悪と戦い続ける。頑張れ商工業青年隊池田レンジャー。
Yay!
Hey.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Really great.
It was fun, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, super fun.
It really came together very well.
Yeah. Yeah, the voiceover works really well, that narration at the beginning and the end, just bookending it. So you're, oh, okay, I understand the sort of bigger picture of what we're looking at, why we're exploring these characters. So that works really well. Yeah, that's good. Great. You know what? I think the cards for the questions, you could probably do away with those and it would also be fine. Like in some ways, like it flows, those answers to those questions. I mean, maybe it's in the subtitles, I'm not sure. But for me, in my comprehension, those answers could just flow into one another with just footage of the performance. But I mean, it also
don't think
works.
they need the black screen then with the question?
No, I don't think that. I mean, it works, so don't worry. But if you had to cut it, you know, if there was a time issue, because often there's a time issue with films where you're like, oh, we've got to make it exactly 5 minutes. If you had to lose 19 seconds, then maybe, you know, there's like 10 seconds there or whatever in terms of those cards on the screen.
Mhm.
but it doesn't, I think it works either way, but I'm just, that they're definitely a tool that helps to sort of cut the story and take us to the next sort of thought that you're
Yeah.
wanting to bring into the story. But it's great. That's really good.
Yeah, I feel like it's really moved on from the rough cut.
Mm,
And obviously how do you say, the interview content that you got from them really helped define the story, if you like. But you had to ask them to answer those questions. Yeah. So you prepared the questions, they answered it, and their answers are really good. I think those answers were really clear. And then it brought the footage to life, because before that it wasn't quite clear what was happening. And then when they explain it, it also, oh, okay, that's why they're doing this, and that's why the bad guy's there, and so on and so forth. So everything sort of was brought together by those answers to the questions. I think that was really good. And of course, the sound quality of the answers was really nice. And then the narration that you did was like
2 days ago.
2 days ago in my office. But it also sort of, it bookended. You got the intro and the conclusions with the narration, which again gave it really, how do you say it, made it one whole package, one clear story there. Yeah, I don't know about I was actually I think there was such a lot going on. Sometimes I was looking at one thing and missing another. So those, the black screen thing didn't really impact me. There was actually just a few minor errors with the subtitles, like spelling error, like wombat is good, T, not D. Is that how they spell his name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're bad guys, so.
Oh, yeah, but maybe he's misspelled his. It's wombat's a T, isn't it? It's not
is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, I see. So,
yeah.
all right. But
I think the choice of, sorry.
Go ahead.
The choice of music, the music makes a huge difference to understanding the chapters of the film. So, the beginning, that sort of soft music, and then we arrive, and we're at the festival event, and we're in a different type of music. And then when you bring the music back in at the end, through the story, that's great, because it helps me kind of comprehend the film in terms of the way that you're delivering the information, but it also helps me to see that you understand how to use music in filmmaking. And it's actually quite advanced to be able to find the right music that's suitable for the scene and the information that you're trying to convey. So it works really well. I think the music actually, in a lot of ways, contributes to the overall coherence of the film in general. So well done. That's
Who
really good.
selected the music?
Kyo-san
Kyo-san.
found the music.
So Kyo-san, she's not here at the moment, but yeah, she found the music.
Yeah.
And,
The editor.
yeah, the editor. She spent a lot of the time doing the editing, but
Yeah.
it's a shame that she's not here, so we can't hear what she has to say about finding the music. I remember seeing her looking online for music, and again, I didn't listen into what she was trying to choose, but I agree. It's action music, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really.
Yeah, I thought that was really, and that really fit into the concept.
Yeah, absolutely. That you could imagine the TV program would have the same. And I have to say that in terms of professional level production, it's pretty high. I felt like you might even see that on television in Japan. Yeah, you might see that as a little part of a TV program. If they were doing something on the Ikeda Rangers, they might do it the same way. So I can see maybe how Japanese television is influencing you. I'm sure if you actually had more time, you'd do like the way the Japanese television does. It's like lots of colors, showing that what they're saying,
decorated subtitles,
all that stuff would have come through as well with more time. But I feel like you you know, you got pretty close to a professional standard production there, and that's impressive with the time constraints that you had, and also that it's your first shot at it. So yeah, well, I want to watch it again, but I'm conscious of time, and yes.
I wonder, have you talked to the Rangers yet? Have they seen it?
Have you shown it to the Rangers?
Oh no, I'm going to send the video after this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Presentation, and
Yeah, great. I mean, I
could
think they'll
use
be
that as a promotion,
Right.
PL video.
Right.
Yeah, I think they'll be pretty happy with it. And also, you know, maybe it might help them get some more work, or at least help the authorities understand what they're doing, you know, like exactly what the message is that you put in the film about, you know, the importance of these characters to bring the community together. I think they'll be really pleased with that, I think.
I
Be
think
interested to hear what they've got to say.
Over the last 4 years that we've been doing this, I think this is the first time we've actually had a narration, yeah?
Yeah.
Student narration.
No.
Maybe in the gender equality.
Was the one in the
video?
gender? Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
gender. Okay, but it was right. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Like a
Second,
explanation.
you looked at them.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Right. But that narration worked really well. The subtitles worked really well. The flow of the story was very solid and completely made sense. There wasn't anything where you're like, you know, like we often were worried that you put something in and we'd lose it. We'd lose the context of that. There was even that nice cut when you were talking about like reviving communities where you were showing the food. So you had like
taking us out to the festival.
the
context of where the
had
performance
footage that you didn't lose, and
that,
you were able
that
to.
was Lee San's idea.
Oh,
put it,
okay.
Yeah, it was at first we put the food, you know, footage to the first, you know, Fushioda introduction.
Right.
But we removed that and did not use it in the film. But you know, in the narration at the end, we could use this as a, you know,
To emphasize.
an example of town revitalization.
Yes,
So-
yeah.
That was a good.
That's very clever, very clever. And that's the beauty of making films.
Yeah.
When somebody comes up with a good idea of moving something around to a place where it works better. And that's because I was looking at that go, oh, okay, right, yeah. You know, getting together, having a festival, eating lovely food is all part of regeneration. Yeah. Okay, so do you have any other comments, Kit?
I don't know at the moment. I mean, I think there was one part in the film, I think when we first meet the Black Wombat and he's saying something and there's no subtitle.
Oh yeah,
In the show.
yeah. Was that deliberate?
I mean, I thought that was, you know, he's talking, you know, specifically about the Fushioda festival.
Right.
Yeah, and that was like, I don't know. I thought it was irrelevant to the concept of the film.
I see.
It's pretty hard to hear even for Japanese speakers.
Right.
So
yeah,
well, we could, you know.
I thought the same thing, Kit, but then a moment later you started narrating.
Yeah, and also that is also.
And so I got the impression that it was like showing the atmosphere of the performance rather than like word for word. But yeah, initially I had what's going on there? Why no subtitles? But yeah, I can also see that maybe the objective is a little bit different.
Yeah, I think they were really my only two comments about the technical part of it. Was the was that subtitle there. And then also, I mean, more creatively, if you had to lose time, that those cards would probably be where I would suggest to lose time. But I
Right.
think overall, they also work as well. They're,
Mm.
and if you are making an international version because you've got subtitles, I mean, you do have subtitles down the bottom, but you could actually make like a bilingual card that's got Japanese and English, but I probably can just use the subtitles. It's the same
Right.
sort of to save making another version.
Do you think they need the quotation marks on the subtitles?
I didn't notice those, but if there are, no, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me think. There is protocols around subtitles because we've got two voices going on, right? We've got the
one a narrator.
Yeah, and then we've also got the character inside.
But when narrator talks, there's no
quotation.
okay.
Yeah.
So you put quotations when they are talking.
Yeah.
I see.
The characters in the film talk.
Okay.
Yeah, I double check, but I think there's protocols. I can't remember whether you put the scarecrows around them. But if they're doing a lot of talking, then maybe not. Like you sort of taken in and out of, because the narration and the talking is kind of happening at the same time towards the end.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I mean, I have to have a look at what the protocols are, but you probably could get away with not having them.
Right. Okay.
I
Well, I mean,
an
it's a
audience-
minor thing, and maybe it's not. I mean, it's not a problem at all, as far as I'm concerned. I was just wondering, you know, what would be the normal approach there. So, Kishan, what do you think about it? What do you think about the video? You think it's?
It is a very nice video. So,
Are you happy with it?
I feel very happy with it. I feel relieved when I see you
Reacting.
reacting.
Right, I see. Tell me, is it something that you would show to your friends and family?
Friends.
And family and say, I made this, or you're like, no.
Yeah, maybe family.
Family.
I think you should put it on YouTube. I think you'd be surprised how many hits you'll get. Truly.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
Following,
I
absolutely.
actually
You'd
think
be
it's a
surprised.
YouTube watchable video.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But also, like, you know, like we've found with all of these films is that and they talk about this with YouTube, because it's such there's so many different interests, like niche interests for audiences, and YouTube helps people find their content that they're interested in, you know, so you get all of these hits, you know, all these views that you just didn't realize these people were out there, but they're interested in this stuff. And then the comments that you're seeing, if you want to leave the comments on, but generally that's also super interesting too, because, you know, if they've got fans, or there's people that are super interested in Japanese culture or, you know, regional development. So it's also going to be about, when you put it up or when you write your synopsis for it, what the tags are that you're going to put in there, so that when people are searching for it, how they're going to find it. So that's the sort of next step in terms of distribution.
Well, hopefully the Ikeda Rangers will put it on their website, their YouTube
Yeah.
channel, which would be really
hopefully
fun.
think so.
Yeah. They might ask you to change some things, you never know.
Yeah.
That's one.
The music is the only concern, just to make sure that with that music that everything's good. Like if it's free,
Copyright
royalty
free, or you
music,
have to
or
actually,
I think
or,
that
you know,
was copyright free
you need
music.
to credit the musician.
and also if it's not, you've just put a disclaimer in there also, which is sort of like, I can't remember how you say it, that, you know, the music, if there's any problems with the copyright on this, we're really sorry. You know, like, so
Okay.
kind of, you didn't know, or you sort of, I don't
Educational
know.
project,
Yeah.
but yeah, we didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. I mean, there's some wording that you can find
Okay.
about that,
Right.
just so that, because if it is copyright infringement, the algorithms will find it eventually, like, you know, like
But
Shazam
they
does.
usually what they do is I mean I've had it happen on my YouTube channel, is that they'll say there's a copyright issue, but it's not a strike. Yeah. But you just can't monetize it. That's the sort of message that you get. But anyway, I think it is important to check. And I will upload it to YouTube and have a look, see what happens on my channel. I think the next step is to share it with the Ikeda Rangers. They might ask for some minor changes, and also Kit and I will have a look at it, and if there's anything like small tweaks to be made, we'll give you some feedback on that. So you might have to come and do a
additional
30-minute of little extra change before you have the final version. But I think it's pretty close. I think it's very tiny things. And hopefully the Ikeda Rangers are like, yeah, we love it. And go ahead and just continue sharing it. Yeah, so great. Really good.
Well done. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Made your first film, or
Yeah,
maybe
you
it's your
did.
first
You
one,
are
but
no
you made a
longer
great one.
You're no longer just consumers, you're producers of content. I hope that you will, this isn't the end, that you will try something like this again in the future. Maybe it's the start of your, YouTube career or your influencer career or vlogging, but please don't, let it stop here. I think you've learned a lot in the last few months, and I'm always, you can see I'm always carrying a camera with me, and it's become part of my sort of regular baggage. And I think it's also really useful to have a camera like that, to get comfortable having a camera with you all the time, so that and then use that to produce videos. So I would really encourage you to think about, even if it's your phone, that you do have a camera, that you have the possibility to capture footage and so on, but not only that, but to also think about, well, when would be the next opportunity that I can make a video? So that would be my sort of words of encouragement. And Kit, do you have any words of encouragement before we start to wrap up?
I think the team's done a great job. I think from the initial pitch that you put forward, we all knew that it was going to be an interesting subject material, and there were some very difficult issues associated with the work, like challenges you had, like you wanted to tell the story of the behind the scenes, and the characters and the access that you were given were under the limitations that they wanted to speak in character. But you've managed to succeed in telling the story under that limitation, which I think is a credit to your creativity. Definitely, because that was hard. I was actually thinking to myself, wow, how are they going to be able to, get over this particular hurdle? Also, I think that the editing is really great, and the ability to understand the context of these characters in terms of what you pitched to us. I think you've actually brought it to life really well. I'm really pleased with the outcome, and I hope that you do see the potential of, that filmmaking it's a fun process, but it's also it's helpful for communicating work that you're doing or research or anything that's out there in the world. So I really hope that the skills that you've learned, that you are able to turn them to another project down the track, and just don't hold back. Like, have another go soon rather than later. Just try to make it a practice where you start, working on things, apply it to your, if possible, your research work, your philosophical work. Like, think about some ideas for communicating your philosophical work, for example. or whatever's going on, you know, things around the university campus or things that are happening in the world around you. So I think you've done a great job, and I'll be excited to hear from Brendan if you are still making films down the track. That'd be really exciting to hear. So, you know, congratulations. It's really good.
Thanks for that. Do you guys have anything you want to say before we finish?
Not much.
Not much.
Yeah.
Was it an enjoyable experience?
Yeah. I want to say that I'm pretty proud of the consequence of this filmmaking process.
Good.
And yeah, I really appreciate this opportunity for me to work on this kind of not my major thing.
Yeah, right. Was it a little bit different from other stuff you do at university?
Pretty different. I just read books and work on my, you know, writing software.
Right,
So
right.
I don't have a camera with that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, you showed that you're capable of stretching yourself in a new area. All of you took on a new set of skills, and you didn't run away from it. You tried to, in the time available, you tried to get as close as you could to mastering it, which I think is very, very impressive. And if I was you, it would give me great confidence that I can do that. It means that I can try something different, stretch myself in another way. I think that's always important. And a lot of people like say, oh, I don't think I can do it, give up. Or they also say things like, I'm not creative. A lot of Handai students have said that to me. It's like, I'm a scientist, I'm not creative. But actually you are creative, and you have been very creative in this, particularly in this video. And so I would really, you know, look at those two facts, that you can take on new challenges and you can be creative. That's really important. Do you have anything to say?
Communication through video was really an exercise for me. We have Chinese students and two Chinese students and three German students.
Right.
Initially it was hard for me to communicate with each other.
Right.
But yeah, through video we could communicate.
Yeah. So it was a multicultural project, wasn't it? There was a Australian filmmaker, a British teacher, two Chinese colleagues and three Japanese colleagues. So it was almost like an international production company.
United Nations, eat your heart out.
Yeah. And Kit, thank you so much also for being with us for this entire period, because while Kit was joining the classes, she was also doing a major television production, and still you managed to get to every class, including from an airport one time, if you remember.
Right.
Wasn't just a production, but it was your international trip, wasn't it?
Yeah, the marketing side, yeah.
But thank you so much for all your time and expertise and advice and guidance. I think it's really, really valuable for the students, especially, you know, sometimes you can hear a professor who's going like blah, 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 and it's all coming from books. But when you have a chance to like listen to somebody who's actually making TV programs, it changes. It's really a different context. Yeah, it's like somebody, you know, says it would be nice, a professor who talks about space versus meeting an astronaut. You know, it's totally different things there. But how was it for you, Kit?
Oh, it was enjoyable. Yeah, it was really enjoyable. I think it was exciting to see the original pitch idea. It's always good when the rushes come back, or when we see that rough cut, and you see the first version and all the footage that's been shot, and somewhere in there, in amongst all of that stuff, is the final film. And then sort of, I also really enjoy watching. I really enjoyed watching you grow as filmmakers as well, and engaging with the challenges of the content. So for me, that was really great. And thank you for putting up with my globe trotting. So, you know, talking to you at, what was it, like 4 a.m. from Amsterdam or wherever I was.
I'm shaking my head here, Kit. You can't really see on the camera. but I'm like, oh, yeah, my goodness. So I'm
Oh.
not sure I could get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to join a class, but I really do appreciate the fact, we do appreciate the fact that you did. Yeah.
But it's great. So, well, it's just good. Well done, everyone. I really hope that you got, that the skills you learned you're able to access them and use them again in
Yeah.
whatever, even making PowerPoint presentations, to consider putting video into PowerPoint presentations. This
Absolutely.
keynote on the Apple's awesome for,
Yeah.
for making video presentations, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we should let you go. And also, I mean, it's now the end of the year, so we'll wish you a lovely Christmas, a Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
It's actually, it's like very hot in Australia for
yeah.
Christmas, so they eat a Christmas turkey, but they're all sweaty because it's too
Yeah, it's very weird. And you go
Very-
into the shopping centers, it's 34, 35 degrees here at the moment, and
Wow.
you're listening to the Frosty the Snowman songs
Yeah.
on the over the loudspeaker, and like, you know,
You got
Santa Claus,
reindeer and
yeah, and
fake snow.
snowflakes and stuff, and you're like, what? Like, it's like hot summer here. So eventually, I think culturally, it will shift, but it's bizarre that we've got this Northern Hemisphere
Yeah.
cultural practice down here in the hot of Australia. Anyway, yeah. So
Well, the big thing here is, of course, New Year. So we'll be
yeah.
enjoying New Year. But
Yeah, and everyone goes to,
yeah, see you in 2024. Yeah.
yeah,
Have a
okay.
nice winter break, and yeah.
Okay. See
Catch
you,
up with
everybody.
you
Well
next year.
done.
See you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.